We invite you to join us on our trip to St. Augustine, Florida. St. Augustine, founded in 1565, is the oldest European established city in the continental United States.
After meeting up for breakfast, we began the 5-hour drive from North Fort Myers, Florida to St. Augustine, Florida. After arriving in St. Augustine, we decided to grab a bite to eat at a restaurant called Burrito Works. This restaurant was located on a road called A1A, which was only 5 minutes away from our VRBO. On our ghost tour, we learned about little James P. Morgan of Tom Amato Cemetery, who died when he was only 5 years old on November 28th of 1877.
Her wedding dress. Some made sense to the two young boys. That long white dress had to be her wedding dress. Long gray hair cascading down her back was most likely a soiled train. Lastly, for the no face, well, you do cover your face with a veil.
There was a live reenactment of the failed execution of Andrew Ransom that some people would only describe as a miracle. Ransom was a pirate who was sentenced to death for his crimes. On the day of Ransom's execution, the executioner twisted the rope around his neck 6 times, and the 7th it broke and he survived. We also listened to stories of Flagler College, one of the most active and haunted colleges in all of America.
The old jail, built in 1891, was built by Poly Jail Building and Manufacturing Company of St. Louis, who would later go to build the Alcatraz prison in 1934. Only 8 deaths were documented. However, many people believe that there were many more due to harsh and unethical treatment. The mass amount of people who died is what makes this jail the most haunted in all of Florida. Once the tour was over, we came across Colonial Oak Music Park and stayed to watch some performers, getting the full Night of Lights experience. Each year, St. Augustine lights up the whole town with Christmas lights in December and January. This tradition traces back to the Spanish practice of lighting and displaying a candle during the holidays. The candles in the window allude to the biblical story of Mary and Joseph. We then had dinner at the A1A Ale Works in historical downtown, where we enjoyed a meal of traditional American food.
We woke up early the next morning to watch the sunrise at St. Augustine Beach, home to St. John's County Ocean Pier and known for its wide sandy shores. We made a quick stop at the farmers market, offering a wide range of products, including produce, local crafts, and homemade goods. After that, we went to the Visitor Information Center located in the central area near the historic district, offering information about attractions and historical sites as well as a souvenir shop. We saw 16th century artifacts, for example, a Columbian plain bowl and weaponry used.
We also learned that St. Augustine was founded 42 years before Jamestown. There were Spanish ships like the Spanish Caravel, which was used for transatlantic exploration, and wax figures of a conquistador and indigenous warrior.
On the way to eat, we saw the Huguenot Cemetery, a public burying cemetery during the yellow fever pandemic of 1821. Many Protestant pioneers to the new Florida territory are buried here. The Presbyterian Church has owned and maintained the cemetery since 1832. We then visited Ann O'Malley's Deli and Pub, an authentic Irish pub in the historical downtown. Known for some unique and some classic sandwiches, O'Malley's was an amazing experience. We soon arrived at the Castillo de San Marcos, a historic fortress built in the late 17th century by the Spanish. The fort's construction using coquina made it resilient to many enemy attacks. St. Augustine was 107 years old when construction began on the Castillo. There were previously 9 wood forts before it was built.
This is the Power Magazine Room, constructed in 1675 for ammunition storage.
Shelf. So the very, very, very few times a cannonball did hit the floor, instead of shattering, the coquina sucked the cannonball in.
There were also carvings on the walls. This was the Spanish message that someone carved into the wall. Although it is Old Spanish, the message itself makes no sense. Next, we went to the lighthouse. Constructed in 1874, it replaced the original lighthouse that was damaged during the Civil War. Standing at 165 feet tall, it is one of the tallest lighthouses in Florida with 219 steps. We then visited a lightkeeper's house built in the 19th century. It serves as a residence for the keepers and their families who maintain the lighthouse. The exhibit includes artifacts, photographs, and documents showcasing the history. For example, shipwreck, artifacts, and personal belongings.
These are the safety features we encountered in St. Augustine. When we were crossing the street towards the farmer's market, there was a sign to let us know that the orange flags were for our safety when crossing the road. The sign said, "Look left and right before crossing. For added visibility, use the flag." Here are some more safety signs we saw on our trip.